Welcome to Inside British Royals. This is your exclusive look inside the world's most famous family. We are exploring the scandals, secrets, and power plays that define the modern monarchy. If you are new here, please do well to hit that subscribe button for more updates. The British monarchy, an institution that prides itself on stability and tradition, is facing a crisis that hits very close to home. This isn't some constitutional debate or a battle for the throne. It's the slow, painful implosion of one of its most prominent families. The House of York, which once seemed to represent a more modern royalty, is now sinking under the weight of scandal, legal troubles, and a public humiliation so deep it threatens to wipe them off the royal map. What we're watching isn't just the downfall of a prince. It's the unraveling of his entire house, with his daughters caught right in the devastating crossfire. The walls of Royal Lodge are closing in on Prince Andrew, but this is so much more than just a disgraced prince at risk of losing his home. This is the story of a royal house in freefall. It's about a shocking new chapter for Sarah Ferguson and a terrible predicament for their daughters, Beatrice and Eugenie. We're about to break down the real consequences of the York's crisis, from a stunning arrest to the financial desperation and royal exclusion that now haunt the entire family. For over 20 years, Royal Lodge has been more than Prince Andrew's home. It's been his kingdom, a sprawling, 30-room mansion in Windsor Great Park that once belonged to the Queen Mother. It was the ultimate symbol of his status. He got it back in 2003 with an incredibly generous deal, a 75-year lease for a one-time payment of just £1 million, plus a promise to cover refurbishments. For 2 decades, he lived in luxury, insulated from the real world. But that gilded cage is now a prison of his own making. The steady drip of damning information from documents related to the Jeffrey Epstein scandal has become a flood. As the pressure mounted, the tipping point finally arrived. On February 19, 2026, Prince Andrew was arrested in connection with misconduct in a public office, a charge he denies. This stunning development, a direct result of the Epstein fallout, has left the monarchy reeling and given his brother, King Charles, all the justification he needs to act. For months, the king has been trying to get Andrew to vacate Royal Lodge, but the prince has stubbornly stayed put. There's been no midnight flit or dramatic eviction with moving vans. Instead, it's a tense and humiliating standoff. Andrew is clinging to the last symbol of his former life, while the king is determined to cleanse the stain on the family's image. The man who once represented Great Britain on the world stage is now fighting to stay in a house he can no longer afford, under the shadow of a criminal investigation. The days of deference are truly over. Andrew's arrest wasn't an isolated event. It was the stone that sent shockwaves through the entire York family, and the consequences have been personal and profoundly damaging. First, there's the humiliation of Andrew's new reality. He hasn't been shipped off to a rundown farmhouse. His world has collapsed right where he is. He's now facing a serious legal battle while being a complete outcast in his own family. Gone are the days of a full staff catering to every whim. The daily ritual of extravagant afternoon tea with Fergie, which he once called the anchor of his life, is a ghost of a bygone era. That world, his world, is in tatters. For Sarah Ferguson, the situation is just as difficult. Though divorced for decades, she and Andrew have lived together at Royal Lodge for years. The renewed focus on her own ties to Jeffrey Epstein has been brutal. Documents have brought fresh scrutiny to the money she borrowed from the convicted sex offender to cover her debts. While she has long called it a gigantic error of judgment, the constant headlines are devastating. Facing an unstable housing situation and renewed damage to her reputation, some reports even suggest she's considering a tell-all book to secure her finances. Her charity, Sarah's Trust, faces immense pressure from the scandal, leaving Fergie more vulnerable than ever. If you're finding this analysis of the royal crisis compelling, take a moment to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. We track these developments closely to bring you the stories behind the headlines. Maybe the most tragic figures in this whole mess are Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie. They are the collateral damage of their parents' disastrous choices. For years, They've walked a tightrope, trying to build their own lives while being tied to the endless scandals of the House of York. Now, that tightrope has all but snapped. They are paying a steep price for a crisis they had nothing to do with. In what must have been a heartbreaking blow, it's been reported that Beatrice and Eugenie are no longer welcome at major royal events in any official capacity. While claims of them being completely banned from attending something like Royal Ascot are an overstatement, the message is clear. They won't be in the royal carriage procession or the royal box. They can come as private citizens, but they are officially out. And this isn't just about a day at the races. It's a signal from the very top. The directive is seen as part of a wider move to sideline them, with Prince William reportedly keen to keep the York sisters at arm's length. The message is brutal. The toxicity of their parents is now considered contagious. This leaves the princesses in an impossible spot, caught between loyalty to their family and a future in an instant. Sarah Ferguson's financial history has been even more turbulent, marked by debt and headlines about her spending. This is what led her into Jeffrey Epstein's orbit in the first place. She admitted to accepting £15,000 from him back in 2011 to pay off urgent debts. While recent reports have fueled speculation about deeper financial ties, the confirmed loan itself shows the desperate situation she was in. That desperation, the constant need for cash, has been a driving force behind many of the family's most catastrophic decisions. It created a weakness that predators like Epstein were all too happy to exploit. Now, stripped of his duties, Andrew is almost entirely dependent on the king, a humiliating reversal for a man who once prided himself on his status. The downfall of the House of York isn't just a family drama. It's a critical test for the entire monarchy. It's happening just as King Charles is trying to create a slimmed-down institution that is more modern, accountable, and less costly to the public. The Yorks, with their scandals and baggage, are the exact opposite of that vision. Andrew's arrest and the ongoing controversy have given the king the perfect cover to speed up these reforms. He is drawing a thick line between the core, working royals, and the relatives on the fringe. The Yorks are now firmly on the wrong side of that line. The crisis has also triggered an unprecedented level of political scrutiny. There have been active debates in Parliament about whether Prince Andrew should be removed from the line of succession entirely. For the first time, the arrangements that have benefited royals for generations are being questioned in the open. The public's patience for subsidizing a disgraced prince has run out. The era of the unaccountable, perk-heavy royal is coming to a close, and the House of York is its first and most prominent casualty. Prince Andrew's arrest was the moment the symbolic rod in the House of York became a matter of actual law. Stripped of their status and their future within the royal fold, Andrew, Fergie, Beatrice, and Eugenie are adrift. Andrew is an outcast, facing legal jeopardy and dependent on his brother's goodwill. Fergie is battling financial instability and the ghosts of her past. And Beatrice and Eugenie, the innocent parties, are being punished for their parents' sins, their birthright now a liability instead of a privilege. The question that hangs over them is stark. Can the House of York ever recover? In a monarchy that's ruthlessly fighting for its own survival, there just doesn't seem to be a place left for them. What does the future hold for a royal family with no official role and no public goodwill? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you for watching. If you want to stay updated on the evolving dynamics within the British royal family, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth reports.